Good afternoon and welcome to Ask Dr. Stacey. Today we're going to be talking about balancing your body. So our Ask Dr. Stacey episodes are always available on our Lifestyle Balance Solutions page on Facebook. So you can just find that at Lifestyle Balance Solutions. And you can also view them on my YouTube channel at Dr. Stacey Cooper. So thank you for joining me today. As always, you can just enter your questions right here on the chat and I can see them here with me. So you can always any questions about fueling your body better for better body function, eliminating inflammation and pain through the foods that you eat, enjoying enhanced vitality, greater joy in your spirit, and peace in your heart. So be sure to ask anything there. You can also submit them ahead of time directly by email to me. You can just go to Dr. Stacey at drstaceycooper.com and submit them there, and then we'll have them ahead of time. And these, of course, are always recorded, so you can always view them at your convenience if you can't make it right at this time. We generally broadcast weekdays at 12:15 Eastern. That's 9:15 a.m. Pacific. So thank you for joining me. Now, we want to talk about balancing the body. We, as humans, are such creatures of habit. And this morning I just had a patient in my office, a new patient who is a dental hygienist. And as you can well imagine, anytime that you've been to the dentist, they are always working from one side of the chair. So they're always in one position, they're leaning over you, working from that position, and they never get to go to the other side of the chair and work from the opposite direction, which would certainly help to balance their body. They're not able to do this, especially being right-handed or left. It's not an easy task to then start in somebody else's mouth using your opposite hands and try and be sure not to poke the gums or cause any irritation or things like that. So it is a very dominant-sided practice that they do. And so in any like that, there's in many and working environments where they're always moving in one direction, always straining in one direction, and always using their body in one direction, and never having the opportunity to balance and stretch in the other direction to help to balance the muscles of the spine and the body. So these are the tips that I share with all of my patients to help to encourage better body function structurally through the musculoskeletal system. And so it is important to exercise. It's important to put movement in the body. Yoga is a fabulous exercise that you can do to help to balance the muscles in your spine and in your body. Because don't think that you have to be a pretzel and on the floor doing the splits in order to be able to do yoga. That is not yoga at all. That is not what you have to be able to accomplish before you can attend yoga. So yoga is about you and your mat, not about what anybody else is doing. And it's generally great yoga instructors will certainly help you to accommodate the particular pose to your situation. So don't worry about it. They will always help you to modify it or change it. If you have any restrictions because you have sore knees or bad knees or anything like that, they can always modify it for you so that you still gain the benefits of doing the yoga itself. So yoga helps to balance the body because it does a particular pose, and then you do the counter pose, which then stretches your body in both directions, which helps to create more balance in the body. I've had some gentlemen in the office who are very muscular and fitness addicts and love to work out. And we talk about how using muscles creates more muscle tension and is great for building muscle, but also it gets to a point where it actually decreases joint function, because when a muscle is built up so big and so bulky and so tight and contracted, it actually compresses the joint together and reduces range of motion. So it's important to then stretch and allow the muscles fibers to become elongated and to become more supple and to actually then have more movement within the joint space rather than it being tight and connected and contracted. So yoga is a great exercise for bodybuilders too, because this is going to help to improve the mobility of their body and enhance joint function and restore normal range of motion to joints that may become seized and tight because of such contraction of the muscles. That leads me to injury. When you have injured yourself or sprained or strained some muscles, what happens is the body has a protective mechanism and it goes into contraction and tightness to help to reduce any further irritation to the area. What that means is it will tighten up around a joint to try and make it more stable. This is the body creating its own cast for that area to brace it, to stabilize it, to prevent any further damage. But what happens is if the joint is never attended to during the healing phase, then those muscles and ligaments tighten and never return to the normal range of motion. So now you have decreased function of the joint because it healed in that tightened position. And so you have this across, sprained the outside of your ankle, and it really tightened and contracted. And the inside of the ankle was somewhat closer to normal than the outside. Now you have an imbalance in tension across the two sides of the joint. And now the joint doesn't wear normally at all. So instead of the joint spaces being nice and close together and functioning well, now you have a gap on one side because it's tightened on one side, looser on the other, and now the joint surfaces are not moving congruently to each other. Whereas you want them congruent so they can go through their normal excursion and normal range of motion and function the way that they're meant to be. So when you have tightening on one side, when you have tightening on one side and it gaps the joint, now you have abnormal wear and tear on one side and the joint surface is not congruent with the one below it. So it's really important to, when you have an injury, don't just think that it's going to go away on its own. The body will do the best that it can to repair the best that it can, but it will do that repair in that damaged position, in that traumatized position. So it's really important to get joints looked at and get them realigned and get them balanced. And chiropractic care is a great way to do that. It's non-invasive, it doesn't require surgery or drugs, and it's allowing the body to recover in the most natural and effective way possible. I just finished with another patient just before I came in here to do this episode, and he had pinched his neck at work. He just moved the wrong way, felt it go, has been irritated, the range of motion has been decreased, he had a real pain in the neck. And after his adjustment, he said, I can't believe why everybody doesn't do this. And I said, well, you know, people have different ideas and different choices. But in regards to better body function, the whole purpose of the chiropractic adjustment is to restore the function to the joints of the spine, in order to allow the brain and spinal cord, that's the nervous system, the brain and spinal cord is the computer of the body. The brain tells every single cell what to do, when to do it, how long to do it, when not to do it. And the brain is monitoring everything within your body and outside your body to maintain homeostasis 24/7, 365. Now, if the joints of the spine are irritated and have shifted out of their normal position, then the nerve information that's being distributed throughout the body doesn't travel in the fashion that it was meant to. And then the information doesn't get to where it needs to go, and then things don't work the way they're supposed to because they didn't get the memo. And then that is how you end up with signs and symptoms. So when you remove the physical interference to the nervous system and allow that nerve to relay to and all the systems, and it's not just about back pain and headaches, then your body can experience better body function naturally. So in regards to balancing your body, it is really important when you find yourself in a work situation or even a sport situation. Some racquetball sports are very one-handed because oftentimes you're not switching the racket from one hand to the other. You're merely holding the racket in one hand and then working one shoulder, and the other shoulder's not doing much at all. And so what you want to do is when you're not in the particular sport, go through the motions of the sport on the opposite side of your body. And this will help to create more balance. I share this tip with so many of my golfers, and this improves their game, and they have this leading edge on all of their golfing buddies. So at golf, when you're not addressing the ball, Then take some swings in the opposite direction to unwind your spine, to balance the lumbar spine. Greater range of motion available to you when you do go to address the ball and make your shot. So those are just some tips that you can use to have your body function better by balancing muscle tension and tightness in your body, by thinking about it and consciously working on focusing on your non-dominant side and getting it working to a better and healthier degree to balance tension throughout your body. As always, I look forward to chatting with you next time. Always be sure to check out the website at drstaceycooper.com, where you can find more healthy living tips. And also we have our free webinar there available for you to view as well. So check that out, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.